Alright everyone, let's chat about how to make the most money possible through this upcoming Hyperliquid airdrop. Now, why watch this? Why should you care? Well, their last airdrop, they gave out $1.6 billion worth of their tokens upon launch. I'm serious, so many people made 5 figures, 6 figures, and the whales even 7 figures just from this airdrop. Not to mention the price of Hype is near all-time highs, so if you held it, you would have gotten even more. So people printed from this, and that's why we care about their upcoming airdrop. But here's the thing, I see a lot of people making mistakes for their Season 3 points or their airdrop number 2. I know it's a little bit confusing, but for points it's Season 3, in terms of the airdrop, it's the second one. Anyhow, I spent hours researching, digging, and looking into this. And today in this video, I want to share with you a comprehensive guide. Real talk, the content in this video could mean the difference between $500, $5,000, and $50,000 for you in this upcoming airdrop. So definitely pay close attention, take notes, and do this soon because the Season 3 for points may end soon. So you got to do these actions ASAP if you want to qualify. Now, here's the thing. There's been a lot of theories floating around about what may get you points versus what will not get you points in this upcoming Season 3 of their points. Here's what we do know, right? It's the fact that they have $5 billion in their tokens reserved for future rewards, and that's at current day prices. But beyond that, there's nothing really for sure, right? I mean, are they going to prioritize their newer HyperEVM stuff or prioritize old school perps or perpetual futures trading volume, right? What will be prioritized? What will be incentivized? There's really so many theories floating around X because there's nothing really concrete announced in advance. And that makes sense, right? Because they don't want people to game the system and farm this and just take advantage of the system. They want to reward real users doing genuine actions. But also, we do know some things based on their actions and statements in the past. In order to best understand what all we can do for this airdrop / Season 3 points and kind of formulate our own theory about what they're going to prioritize versus not prioritize, we really got to take a big step back and look at all the different pieces of the Hyperliquid ecosystem. Because there are a lot of pieces here, so stick with me. On the highest level, there's their core infrastructure, and that's really HyperCore, which is their trading layer, and HyperEVM, which is their smart contract layer. That's a little bit newer. It's their own blockchain is what the HyperEVM is all about. Now, in terms of their trading and markets products, you got your perpetual futures or perps, you got spot trading, which is much newer, and then HIP3, which is also new, and I'll explain what that means in a bit. But anyhow, next up, there is staking, which is a big piece of the puzzle as well. Yes, you can stake Hype on their chain. And then there's DeFi stuff, there's DeFi projects in their ecosystem. And the cool part about this is that if you use their protocols, it could potentially get you an airdrop for that as well. So it really gives you 2-for-1 airdrop potential. And then there's everything else, be it the biggest NFT projects in their ecosystem or domain names like .hl for .hyperliquid per se. So there's really many different things you could do to potentially earn points. But which one are the highest priority and the highest impact, right? Where should you be spending your time, your money, and your effort? Let's take a look at each one to answer that specific question. So we got to start with HyperCore. This is their core business, right? It's what generates all the fees and revenue for them. This includes perpetual futures, their bread and butter. But here's the thing. There's already a lot of adoption for that. So some people are wondering, does this really need to be incentivized even further with points and airdrops? And then there's Spot, which is newer, like I told you. And then there's HIP3, which allows people to permissionlessly deploy perpetual markets. Say you have your own coin and you want perps for it, right? You want people to be able to go long or short for your coin. Well, you don't have to get permission from Hyperliquid. You can permissionlessly deploy this, but it requires you to stake 1 million of their Hype tokens. So as you can tell, this is big for Hyperliquid, but that's quite a bit, right? So that's not really for us like retail investors per se. Now, I do think that both perps and spot volume is going to be very important for this upcoming Season 3 points and second airdrop. Big thing is, do not forget to get some volume in their spot trading. Don't just only do perps. I think that's a smart move to make here. And I definitely think that we should prioritize both of these. Now, how to do this? Well, it's easy. Just go on their platform and trade. I don't even need to show you how. That's pretty self-explanatory. Now, I told you a big piece of the puzzle was staking, because this helps secure their network, right? So it's really important. And it shows commitment too, because there is a lockup period. However, it does have less revenue impact for them. So that's a big thing to consider when trying to determine where we should focus our time and money. So I do think we should do this, but not with like a huge chunk of our hype balance. Now, how to stake? Well, that's easy. They have a page just for that. And you just connect your wallet, transfer your funds to the staking balance, pick a validator, and delegate your tokens. Pretty straightforward, and that's pretty much what you do for other networks too. Now, one important point here is that transfers out of the staking balance are locked for 7 days. So don't do this with any balance that you desperately need to like move or sell or something with, right? This should be something that you're okay with having that lockup period. But anyhow, moving on to the fun stuff, the DeFi stuff, which is part of HyperEVM. And this is quite new also. Like I said, it's newer, but it's an important part of their grand vision. It's also unique though, because apps that are built on HyperEVM can interact with HyperCore, their trading layer. So you get a lot of stuff like liquidity and like performance benefits and things like that. But also, interacting with the HyperEVM DeFi stuff generates less revenue for them directly. So likely not everything's going to be treated the same here. I really recommend that you focus on genuine interactions that benefit the ecosystem. I think a big mistake that people are making is that they think that spamming random swaps with like random meme coins are going to get you significant points in Hyperliquid's airdrop. I mean, you may get an airdrop from those projects like the DEXs, right? But from Hyperliquid itself, I really don't think that it's gonna be like a heavily incentivized action. Now, what all projects and protocols should we focus on and use here? Well, for bridging, Unit Protocol is a great one. For swaps, HyperSwap, and I personally use this myself already. Liquid staking, HyperBeat, and that gets you staked hype. Lending and borrowing, of course, with HyperFi and HyperLend. Stablecoins and vaults would be Felix protocol. And like I said, just focus on genuine interactions with blue chip protocols. Don't just like spam transactions, try to get a lot of volume by like wash trading. Don't do that. That's not what I think is going to get you the lion's share of the points per se. But like I said, there is everything else in their ecosystem, like their NFT collections. One of the most popular ones is Hypeo NFTs, and their marketplace for NFTs is called Drip Trade. So go check it out there. Domain names is HL names. You may have seen some people on crypto Twitter or crypto X have like .hl behind their name. That is the HL domain names. You can also get some of those if you want. Like I said, these could get you points, but less likely. So in terms of my personal strategy, after thinking about everything that we've discussed so far, I would focus on perps and spot with 60% of my hype balance or my hype allocated for this airdrop farming procedure. Stake, I would do it 10%, swap on HyperSwap 10%, and then just other HyperEVM / DeFi stuff would be 20%. So that's 60 plus 10 plus 10 plus 20, it's 100. And then I just added some extra note. I would bridge some native assets over like native BTC and native ETH with Unit Protocol. So as you can tell, I'm going heavier on the trading aspect because that is what makes them the most revenue. So I really think, and it's my thesis and my theory, that they're going to incentivize that the most. But like I said, don't ignore staking and some HyperEVM stuff, right? As I think that's also important to potentially hedge our bets. So that's pretty much it. Let me know if you have any questions here. I'd love to try to help you answer them. And also, if you've looked into this Hyperliquid airdrop stuff at all, then please share your notes with us in the comments below. If you haven't used Hyperliquid at all, but you want to, please help me out by using my referral link below. And also, I've been talking to my fellow retail investors in the retail DAO about this for a long time now. So if you want to hear this type of alpha first, then definitely join us, the best token gated community for retail investors in the world. That's Retail DAO. Join us below. You can find the links to the website and our X profile. This is Kevin. I hope this was helpful, and I'll catch y'all next time.